takes longer than it used to.
That's what she said.
That is what she said. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's how we start it. Welcome back to the Nintendo Shack. My name is Donnie Reese. And joining me tonight is Caroline, the Nintendame.
And all her vulgarity.
We are drinking, so hopefully the show doesn't go that far.
No, it hasn't hit me yet.
Save it for the stream. But fun, yeah, fun. So Jason's out, and the whole staff
we kicked him out. He's gone. He's never coming back.
I mean, he's like a part-timer anyway. You know, it's not like... Is he really Shaq anymore? Like, he's Shaq status is in question.
He's Shaq.
It took Sean Capri to shaming him to appear, and then what happens the immediate week after? He's gone again. He said he's like leaving us for a haircut or something. He's like, I have a haircut appointment.
We do have something very well planned next week that he did set up for us, so that's good. Either he did or Kevin did, but he's the one that spilled the beans on it. So
yeah. There you go, a little teaser. Speaking of teasers, if you're hearing this today, head over to the Twitter because we have an announcement to drop. We've been teasing all weeks, 2 weeks, 10 days,
3 weeks,
something. Yeah, way too long actually. People are already like way wise to it. Like they knew like a week ago, you know. Like so that's the thing. People are like, really, you're still doing the videos? Found out
before we said it, or
yeah, like come on, you don't need to be, you know, Sherlock Holmes to figure this one out. But anyway, we still have some surprises. Even if you already know, trust me, you don't know. You don't know what we have planned to actually make said announcement. But definitely check that out. That'll be fun. I'm going to go ahead and get this tweet out here. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, this is it's kind of a slow news week. I've got some news, but I got to admit, it's not like that grand of news. Slow news cycle.
Yeah.
So we did reach out and we got some questions, and boy, do we have a bunch of them actually. I'm wondering if we should actually cut some. So listeners, podcast friends, thank you for submitting. But before I get into that, just in general, Caroline, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right, I suppose. I'm just ready for the week to be over, and I'm sure you agree. I mean, like mine's just the same old. It's work. I
quit Twitter yesterday. That's how bad my week's
been. I know. I'm more interested in hearing how terribly your week is going.
I couldn't do that without implicating my job, so I'll just leave that alone. But I will say too.
Well, I did hear that traffic ruined everybody's day in Atlanta yesterday.
Traffic was absolutely the worst way to start the day. And the day just got even worse from there. I mean, and it was a steady decline from like the traffic was the highlight of my day.
Oh, goody.
So it was a bad day. And it took me about lunchtime. I just realized I was just in a grumpy mood. Do you ever just like take a step back and you're like, man.
Yeah. Most of the time it takes somebody to tell me like, okay, you need to just get away from people because you're taking it out on me.
I used to call it a reset day. I used to have these days where, back, I guess, when I didn't have to do as much as I normally, or as much as I do now. But back when I first started a few of my jobs, I would have like these days. You ever like you wake up and like you put your shirt on backwards, or you go to grab something and you drop it, and then maybe you like try to pick it up and you drop it, or you get in the car and you forgot your coffee or you forgot the keys. It's just like everything is going wrong. Right. You're just not working. Like the world and you are not in sync. Those are days that I like to call reset days. And what you should do on a reset day is play hooky, call in sick, and just go back to bed. Like, just don't even try. Don't fight the forces of the universe. The universe is telling you to not do this. Don't do this.
So you can't even play games because your game is going to be out.
Yep, you're just going to be angry, and you're not going to like what you're doing. Like, it's just all bad. Like, just go to sleep. Like, just go relax. Go take a walk. But don't do anything that has you crossing paths with anybody else or any like frustrating activity. Just turn it off. Just reset day. Just a day to reset everything.
To me, walking is a frustrating activity.
Well, then don't do that either.
I gripe, I complain, I start sweating, and I might trip. Exercise sucks.
That's why I'm fat. Yes.
Me too. That's why
no, you're not.
That's why I'm not losing weight like I want to.
I do have some news. Let's break into the news. We have some fun news. The first news story is actually old news, but it's been gnawing at me because we didn't address it in the Shack after E3, and then last week I wanted to address it, and for whatever reason I completely forgot. And that is Super Mario Party will have online play.
Yeah.
And we never touched on that.
No,
In our
because it happened like 2 or 3 days after we broadcast.
Yeah. And then we never came back to update it, but it will feature online play. That's huge for a Mario Party game. That's brand new.
I thought they said that it was just mini games.
Just the mini games.
Not board play.
You'll be able to pick the mini game and then play online with friends. But you won't be able to play the actual board game.
That's the fun part anyway. The mini games.
Mario Party 100. Just mini games. Like that was the fun part. So I just think that's really good news. So if that was something you were paying attention to as a game that you could pick up for your Switch this fall, and just know that you can play online. So I'd imagine at some point Shaq will have a stream of that online. Like, who doesn't want to get together and play some Mario Party?
Mini game stream.
Mm-hmm. So like I said, it gnawed on me. When we stopped recording last week, I was like, ugh, come on.
Yeah. I have anti-news. My big reveal didn't happen this week. Or it hasn't happened yet.
Oh yeah,
as of
64 Classic.
Monday or Tuesday that I thought predicted it would. Yeah, we don't have an N64 Classic announcement as of 8:51 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
We really don't have any signs that they're going to do it at all.
I wouldn't be surprised now if they weren't pushing it until 2019 or something, but I like to hope that we have another, holiday season with another classic edition. So
I gotta say, after talking to you guys about it, I'm kind of excited to buy one. Like, I kind of want to play those wrestling games. So,
you're just gonna hack yours.
That's all I'm gonna do with it. Yeah, I'm not even gonna play the games that come on it probably, but there are
my
other games that
uncle-in-law hacks his to have all the games on it. So
yeah, I like collections. Like, it's cool, to have that kind of support. Now, I mean, the reason I say there's really no signs that they're going to do it at all is because they're putting more effort into marketing the fact that they're re-releasing the NES Classic. It seems
that's true. That's coming out tomorrow or today.
Something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest news story of this week, though, is the fact that Mario Kart 8 received an update that now lets you play with the motorbike that you make out of cardboard with your Nintendo Labo accessory set.
And that's super awesome. Like, Kevin and I are the only ones I think that have bought Labo and
so
done
this
the Labo
one,
right
correct me if I'm wrong, to do this one, it's just like the $11.99 box. Like, don't they sell this?
You can buy this one separately. Yeah.
Yes.
I
so
think
it's like super cheap.
Yeah, it's $12 or something for that, or you can just buy the big variety kit like I bought, and it's like the number 4 one that you make.
So my thing with this was, if you were on the fence with Labo, if it's too expensive, I could see. If somebody said I would like to try it, but I'm not trying it that price, I would understand.
Oh yeah.
You can go into GameStop and pick this up for $11 and go play Mario Kart with it, and that's pretty cool.
I will say that it's very responsive and it's very neat how the technology works.
Did you see in their press release? They mentioned the fact. Hang on, let me see. I want to get this right. That when you play with the Toy-Con, the aspect, like the view, zooms in. You're closer to your character than when you play without the Toy-Con, and they said for increased immersion.
I didn't see that. Oh, I didn't see that.
Which I just, like it was VR or something. Like, they zoom in a bit, and you're like, oh man, now we're Mario Karting. Like, I just thought that was great.
That's interesting, but I mean, it's not like first person or anything. So what's the point?
Exactly. That's what I was like. It's not even first. What are you doing? You're not even changing. You just zoomed in. It's like they just cut the edges off the picture.
And I like to see as much as possible, so I don't come up on something and make a wrong turn. Or
it would be pretty hilarious. This is an idea that just dawned on me. That at our next drunk stream, if we all committed to playing with Labo.
Well, y'all are the ones that have to buy it.
I would buy that for that.
That would be hilarious
for that night alone. Because we've got Daniel that wants to play Mario Kart. We got Lucas who still wants the cart. Like, if we all agreed that we would all buy the $11.99 box and we all sat there with our webcams and did the little, that would be great. That is highbrow entertainment. Plus alcohol.
Plus alcohol.
There's no way that's not fun. There's no way
messy.
That we could call it Mario Kart 8 drinking and driving. Paired with that announcement was the announcement that they are creating a Nintendo Labo's Creators Contest.
This is so cool.
To where if you create a musical instrument or some sort of gaming experience with Labo, you can submit it, and if you win, you get a cardboard-themed Nintendo Switch.
I was super excited about the like I had to look at
No.
it and
Oh
yes.
no, it's
Oh
just
my
brown.
gosh. No, at
It's
first
just-
I thought that it was made of actual cardboard on the outside, but
It
then
does
I
look
looked and
pretty
it's
realistic.
painted pretty well.
It is. I'll give you
Good
that.
good decals and stuff. That's going to be a collector's item.
Well,
you
of
think?
course, yes. Especially
Unless
if they keep it.
they don't, yeah, exclusive to this kind of stuff. I'm just really now I'm interested to see all of the cool stuff that people are going to come up with, like the engineers and stuff, and then everybody's going to be wanting to replicate it, and there's going to be how to make, and that's the nerdy part of me that
I'm way more interested in the Nintendo Labo Creators Jacket. That members only club jacket is pretty sweet looking. I'm not gonna lie to you, but the console itself, if they ever release that for mass marketing, I would just shake my head. I don't think they would, because honestly,
I don't think they will either.
I don't think it'll sell. But the 5 that they do make will sell for some ridiculous price on eBay. Somebody's gonna pay $5,000 for one of these. Absurd.
More like 5 figures.
The entire dock just looks like a cardboard box, and I think the thing that bothers me most is it just has this big Nintendo
Labo's thing on the back. I didn't like
right
that.
on the. You're just like, oh.
I didn't like that, but I loved like seeing the side angle of the Joy-Cons and how it had that corrugated zigzag on the inside area. I think like little neat, nifty things
now
like that.
Now the Joy-Cons, if they release those
would be sweet.
I probably still wouldn't buy them, but I would look at them. I would think about it. I would think about it because they're like at that point it's not so bad, but the entire console is a bit much for my taste. And of all the games that you would release a special edition console with, like this, that's the first one. You've got Breath of the Wild, and Mario Odyssey, and all this, and you're gonna go out there with your cardboard game. Come on,
they missed their shot for Breath of the Wild, though. I don't know. I think a bunch of
they release that thing whenever they want.
Yeah,
I would trade in. I would look. I'm buying a 3DS next week because it looks like a shield. It's the only reason. I have one reason that I'm buying an entire system.
Me too.
If they released a Zelda, and they will, when they release a Zelda themed Switch, we'll buy it. And when they release 3 of them, we'll probably buy all of them. Like, there's a market for that. It's not a huge market, but there is a market that Nintendo knows that they can tap into basically whenever they want. Yeah. Sometimes they do it better than others. Like the what they tried to do with the 2DS was a joke. But, when they do a good job, like the Majora's Mask unit was pretty nifty.
I love my Majora's Mask unit. There was one 2DS that's more recent. It was the white and orange and the black and turquoise.
Yeah. I meant like the Zelda one where it was just green and brown or something. It was terrible.
You're talking about like literally like the bricks.
Yeah, it was. Oof.
Yeah.
And what was in the Zelda themes, we've got the Link Between Worlds that had the Triforce like up and down, which I thought was it was stylish because it was minimal, but it's also like a low effort. It's like you didn't really try on that.
The problem with that one is I feel like there's not as much contrast. It's just the colors are too similar. So like if you're looking at it from a distance, it just looks minimal. Like it's just like you didn't really try. Yeah. And then we got Majora's Mask after that, I think. And then we had
there's one in there that I really didn't like. And I think it's
there's another one that came out. There really is, and I'm gonna probably have to look this up on my phone. And I feel like it was another like gold edition or something. But now we're getting the Hylian Shield, and that's coming out next week, and I'm definitely gonna be.
And the Hylian Shield just looks incredible.
Sick. Amazing.
In the chat, Sean Capri says we gave up on the Jason Lacey picture, as we alluded to when we first started. I mean, if he's not going to show up once a month, I mean, you just gotta. Are you catching what I'm trying to do? My hope is that as I publicly shame him, he just cringes against his steering wheel, and then next week he comes in here just a blaze of fire. Just
here it is. It's this for anybody watching. It's this. Black and gold.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. That wasn't even the one I was thinking about. There's another one out there. Oh, really? I know. It's gold. The 25th anniversary. They did a 3DS one that was gold with the Zelda Triforce wing symbol.
Oh, I know which. Yeah,
that one I didn't.
I remember that one
too. I was like, that's gross.
I remember that one too.
Good evening, Eric Baker. Thanks for joining us in the chat there. We appreciate it.
I'm getting are these the ones that we've already spoken about. Here it is. Yep. So this is their 5th Zelda 3DS.
Like I said, they know that at any time they want, they can tap into that market and probably sell, I don't know, 50,000 just special edition consoles whenever they want. Probably more, but even on
you
the
think about that for a second. How many years has the 3DS been out? That's like almost a Zelda 3DS release almost every year, every other year.
Sean says he has the Triforce one. Now, Sean, is that the Link Between Worlds, the one that goes up and down, or like the Triforce with the wings, like the gold?
The one with the wings kind of had like some ornate, like tribal tattoo looking thing going on.
Sean says he volunteers his tribute for Jason. It's okay. We'll get him. It's just, it takes, if you apply the amount of public pressure, if we start having people tweet at Jason like, hey, we want you on Shaq. You know, like,
Sean, anytime you want to, jump in the Shaq. Oh,
the next, if we ran Nintendo's just Jason. That'd be fantastic.
Tables have turned.
Related is Nintendo, as they did, I should have mentioned, the big news for Nintendo, the company, is the new president, Furukawa, took office this week. They announced a new Nintendo of Europe president who just looks like a dude at a tennis club. Like, this is interesting. But they also mentioned that while Mario Kart 8 is the first game to get some sort of Labo integration, that other games are coming. So, are we going to be able to swing like a sword? Play Breath of the Wild?
More like a Splatoon gun. I think that would be really cool.
Just
have the trigger on the Joy-Con.
I'd be down for that.
The trigger.
I'd be down for that. Cool. Like a little light gun. That'd be cool. Because I mean, I guess it's already motion based, so that's not that big of a deal. Moving on. In addition to the 2DS that's coming out next week, which I'm very excited about. Which one do I want to go with first? Let's do this one, which I'm excited about. Critically acclaimed game called The Lion Song comes to Nintendo Switch July 10th. Now, I looked this game up. Have you ever heard about this game?
Never heard of it.
Neither have I. This game's on Steam. I believe it's on mobile. It's on Google Play and iTunes. It's a mobile game. It came out on Steam first. It's $10. And it's set in 20th century Austria. It has an art style that reminds me a lot of like Owlboy. And it tells these 4 tales that interweave together to explain this overarching narrative. And it's a choice-based. It's a point-and-click, decision-based game. The reason this should be on your radar is on every platform that it's been released on, exceedingly great reviews, like super high. And when they say critically acclaimed, they mean it. It's won all kinds of like European Game Awards, like Indie Game of the Year, Best Art Direction for an Indie Game, Best Game in Germany, 2018. So is it
kind of like World War I, II based? We're talking about Austria? I'm curious about the plot.
Maybe there's something that's alluded to, but in the screenshots and the videos that I saw, there was no like, the nation's at war and we're struggling. And they're like on a train. And it's like you play the role as like a mathematician and like a vocalist and an artist. And like you just kind of have these narratives. I'll read it to you.
Okay.
The Lion Song is set against the backdrop of early 20th century Austria, with every episode following a different character. Each character possesses an exceptional mind, and the game draws players into a story of personal struggle for creativity, human connections, and inspiration. A talented composer suffering from writer's block, just before her breakthrough concert, an up-and-coming painter going through his challenges, and a brilliant mathematician trying to make her voice heard in a man's world. The choices players make in The Lion Song will have a direct impact on the storylines of all future episodes and ultimately determine if the protagonists do find the success that they are looking for.
Wow, that is pretty, like, those kinds of games that make you think, I do enjoy.
$10. Looks like Owlboy, looks cool. It's got like this, I don't even know, like this.
So everything's pixel?
Yeah, it is. It's all pixel, and it's got like that old, like, is it sepia tone? Like that Western, like washout, like tarnished look.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got that. That's what it looks like. And it's just something to put on your radar, guys. A couple weeks comes out. The Lion Song. It's $10. Like I said, look it up.
Definitely pre-World War II.
You get 4 episodes. So that's pretty cool. Another one of those mobile games coming in.
I always worry about those things too, because I'm like, well, I don't want to like ruin their lives. You know, it's just one of those choice-based things.
Oh yeah, well that's replayability. Is you can play a bunch of different ways.
Yeah.
Get all the different endings. We had a game announced today from 2K Games, the makers of NBA 2K and WWE. Awesome! Let's get ready for Carnival Games coming to the Nintendo Switch this fall. This looks more like, and I actually think it was a Wii game. It's 20 mini games, features bowling and basketball, but not like basketball you play at like Chuck E. Cheese, like with the little thing.
Yeah.
It's a.
Please tell me that they've at least updated the graphics.
No, it doesn't look that great. It looks like something. It looks like an Xbox Avatar game. So I mean, it doesn't look awful, but I mean, it's like, it's yeah. I just thought that was funny because they did a whole press release about it, and I'm sure they're proud of it. But anytime the Wii put such a bad taste, I think, in everybody's like hearts for any game remotely close to that.
Right.
It's just like there were games, it's like Connect Sports and stuff like that. Like there are people that took the same exact, thoughts with those.
Apparently, it was a Wii hit.
Oh.
It says bringing the Wii hit back to Nintendo's newest platform.
Okay.
For Nintendo Life.
So we've got Carnival Games, and we've got that other game that Konami's, or was it no Bandai's doing that Nintendo's publishing. That other one that's none of them have golf. Like you get somewhat of my attention if any of them have golf.
Go Vacation.
Why are we releasing any sports collection games without golf? Like there's a part of me that's like
sport in the world.
I wish I was on any of these companies. Like, why is golf not included? Why do we have darts but not golf? Because as a golfer, I can tell you, other people that play golf, like they seriously will buy a game just to swing a golf club. That is
I love golf games.
It's what, like the motion of swinging a golf club. Like people, if you've ever known a golfer, they do that like on the elevator, like when they're holding nothing.
Practicing.
They do that. Yeah. Right. So the idea you get to do that virtually makes all the sense in the world. That's a motion control based thing.
Yeah.
What
was your first golf game? I'm just curious.
The first one that I actually ever remember like really getting into playing a lot of was Sid Meier's Sims Golf.
Okay.
Which I love. And if I could find a way to make it play on new computers, I would. I even have a copy of the CD, but it just...
I'm sure you could probably run...
it doesn't run in compatibility mode.
No, I meant like through a browser. They've made CD-ROM games now where you're able to play it like through a browser or something.
I've searched at periods into my life and I've never found it. But if you ever find it, let me know. Because if anybody out there knows how to play Sid Meier's Sims Golf on a Windows 10 PC, please let me know. Because I will stop playing everything. I really, really, really enjoyed that game. That game was a lot of fun.
My first one was Arnold Palmer's Tournament Golf for the Sega Genesis.
I remember that game. Yeah.
I own it.
And see, like those I didn't really like the whole Jack Nicklaus thing, and like Tom Kite had a game, like even the early Tiger games. You ever play Tiger Woods Golf on PlayStation that had like the cartoon Tiger? That was terrible. Was ridiculous. That was an awful game.
but yeah, like that just kind of, I don't know. There's something about golf games that we could do a whole segment on Golf Edition and talk about all of our favorite stuff. Like Pangia, I was super into. Mario Golf was the next thing that I played.
Hot Shots. The moment I found Hot Shots, I played every one of them since. I think my first one was Hot Shots 2 on PlayStation 1, I want to say. May have been 2. And then I got Hot Shots 3 on PlayStation 2, and that I just lost. Yeah, I lost everything. We can't go down this path. We'll never get back.
Save it for another cast.
Yeah, I'll save it for another cast. Are you ready to do some speculation?
Okay.
So we've talked about the N64 Classic.
Sure.
And we would be remiss if we didn't mention the fact that Nintendo has trademarked 3 GameCube trademarks.
Yep.
Now, dude, this happens. Hang on, this happens all the time. So like, let's just be honest and upfront. Companies have to trademark their own brands occasionally, or they risk losing them. Right. Or if somebody was to rip them off and start like creating a GameCube Classic, like they can't sue them if they don't keep the trademark up.
Right.
So this is something companies do. This doesn't mean that the GameCube Classic is coming. That said, that's not fun. The fun part is to say that the GameCube Classic's coming and we want to talk about it. So Caroline, would you be interested in a GameCube Classic?
Would I? GameCube is probably... I actually answered this question recently for N64 Josh, and be on the lookout for it. N64 is probably my favorite console, like just for nostalgia's sake. But the majority of the games that I love the most have been on the Nintendo GameCube. You had Wind Waker, Super Mario Sunshine, one of the Harvest Moon games. My first Harvest Moon game, which I absolutely love, was on that system. Melee, just you name it. Such a good library of games, and I think that it was just in the PlayStation 2 shadow the whole time. And dude, I would buy any sort of Nintendo GameCube merch that they put out. it's just kind of, this is my baby. I own 2 of them. I kind of wanted to collect like all 4 of the colors because they had the regular indigo. I had the black. My black is kind of on the fritz, so I bought the platinum silver one from a guy. And I think Japan was the only one that had the macaroni orange color. Yeah, a guy that had like, he was closing out his video game retro shop. Anyway, he
ever tell you my GameCube story? Have you ever heard about? I walked into a flea market here when we first moved in up here in Paulding. And this flea market was terrible. I'll give you the short abridged version. I don't spend too much time on it because I've told it, I think, 2 or 3 times before. This flea market was terrible. The thing that we always remember that we can never not tell is that it was selling a used bottle of mouthwash.
Oh.
For like 50 cents. It was like a half-used bottle of like Listerine. So I'm in the shop and I turn and no joke, I took pictures on Twitter. It's documented. I have to go find it, but 30 GameCube games in plastic. There were 2 copies of The Legend of Zelda collector promo discs, like brand new. The steel books, the Resident Evil steel books, beautiful job. Star Wars. I mean, and Star Fox. It was all brand new. I bought them all for $50.
Steal.
I traded one of the Zelda games. I think it was one of the promo discs for 2 GameCube systems and a bunch of stuff from this trader. And the idea behind it, long story short, was I was going to keep them and let my kids play them. After about a weekend of making the kids try to play them, they hated it and they didn't want to play it. So I sold it all for like $500.
I mean, it's a great profit. If you know
it
me.
was, and it sold like that. I mean, I had people offering to drive from other states and whatnot. Like they were like, "If you hold it, I'll be there this weekend."
See, that's why I'm going at a flea market this weekend. I'm gonna try my hand at picking like Josh Stapleton does.
There you go. You just gotta you gotta find like it's hard these days.
I know, like eBay can only keep me busy for so long. And
like down there in HCO, like the peddlers market, like that thing's been picked over.
Peachtree Peddlers, yeah.
So much.
There's a few guys that have still done their stuff, but the guy
but it's all like mad.
The guy never got the stuff to me, and he was overpriced. And so I'm going to the Starlight Drive-In this weekend.
Ooh, I love that one.
Yeah,
I'm a big Starlight fan. So I have a contrarian opinion here to make, and so first I'd like to say that I'm pretty sure that we've already proven the fact that if Nintendo releases anything, we'll probably buy it. So that said, I'm not going to tell you that I wouldn't buy one. I would tell you, though, that I'd be a little less, I think, excited to buy a GameCube Classic. And the reason being is so many of my favorite memories from GameCube, I think, are better experienced elsewhere. So when you think about a GameCube Classic and what the lineup would be, the Zelda games, I've got HD ports of those on Wii U. They're fantastic. True. I would never go back. I would never not play Wind Waker HD. Like,
what if they put the HD ports on there?
They're not going to do that.
No.
And then Galaxy, not even Galaxy, it's Galaxy's Wii.
Sunshine.
As I say, Sunshine. I want the HD remaster of that. Like I'm looking for that.
Trust me, I do too. I've been asking for Sunshine 2 or an HD remake for a long time. But I replayed Sunshine recently. The past few years ago, and it didn't bother me that much.
Okay.
It doesn't bother me to go back to an old game. I can appreciate it for what it was.
Hold that. We have a question about that in a bit.
Oh, okay.
Hold that thought. And then some of the other games, like I loved my GameCube. I really did. I think it was the last great Nintendo console because it had the best the third party had to offer.
You don't think the Wii was a great console?
Well, I mean, the Wii was a great console in the fact that it sold, but like the Wii didn't get Grand Theft Auto and it barely got Call of Duty.
True.
Like it didn't get games. Whereas like the GameCube, you could play Grand Theft Auto and you could play Star Wars and you could play NCAA football and you could play Madden. Like it got everything. It had everything that we always wanted and Nintendo games. It was like that box.
Yeah.
So like some of my favorite third party games, I don't think would be on a mini release. Like Eternal Darkness, like that franchise is locked up in so much. Star Wars Rogue Squadron, which absolutely holds up. That game looks amazing.
I'm not a fan of Star Wars games, but
with the Rogue Squadron, have you ever seen it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. If you YouTube it, like it looks incredible. By today's standards, it looks awesome. And like that game's not coming over. Maybe because Capcom, maybe they could get like Resident Evil 4, but probably not. Like there's a lot of games that I don't think would come. So like if I'm seriously thinking like, is there a game that Nintendo made if they put on that box, I would play. And my real only answer that if I'm being honest with myself, I think is Mario Party. Or I mean, Paper Mario. The 1,000 Year Door.
Oh, yeah, 1,000 Year Door.
That game still holds up visually. It's gorgeous. Probably one of my favorite looking Mario games ever. I would play that game again, maybe from start to finish. I don't...
What about Pikmin?
I play it on Wii. I own that game on Wii U. I've got the Wii control version.
I'm a big fan of the SSX series, and that game, or Tricky and 3, and I think Tour came out all on the GameCube. And I think like it's not going to happen, but that was EA. Those were really good games. I'm looking at the collection right now, and I can only see like half of it from here.
It's like we wouldn't get like any of the Capcom 5, right?
No.
It's like we wouldn't get Killer 7 or anything like that. I probably wouldn't.
Killer 7's getting remade anyway.
Right. I probably wouldn't play the Star Fox games, even though I don't think they're that bad. I just wouldn't play them.
I loved Adventures, and
I wouldn't play Animal Crossing. Like,
really?
I didn't like the GameCube version of Animal Crossing.
Oh, dude. Okay, so Kevin and I would fight you. OG was my favorite Animal Crossing before New Leaf came out, and I stood firm on that, and it's still very, very near dear to my heart. So I would definitely play that.
That was one of the games that I got when I got that GameCube, and I tried to get me and my daughter tried to get into it, and it's just, we're New Leaf people. Like, New Leaf captured us. So anything else is kind of bad.
I understand that. Like, I came into the Animal Crossing series through that game.
Yeah.
So for people that have been playing it since the beginning,
you know,
it was so profound that they, after Animal Force was created in Japan, they had to go back and give all of the stuff that they put into the American release back over to Japan and make it E-Force or Animal Forest E+ or something.
Wow.
So yeah, you should read about it. It's crazy. But they really liked what America did with all of the translations and editions and stuff.
I don't think we get Super Monkey Ball. I would play. No, I just thought of another one. I would totally play Mario Strikers again. I love that game.
I like the original Mario Strikers.
But I also have that game.
Not so much.
Well, no, I've got the Wii version. I have the Wii version on Wii U.
Super Sluggers? Super Sluggers was GameCube? Or was that
I have the Wii one. I don't know if there was a GameCube one. But Luigi's Mansion is being remade. We got that game coming.
Yeah, we have that one. Yeah, wait, I can't.
It's like, what Nintendo game are they putting on it? Like, what 5 games are they putting on it that you would commit to playing?
I'm just pulling up my collection.
Like, I just don't think there would be that many for me. Not saying I wouldn't want to buy it.
Toadstool Tour, Chibi Robo. Dash. What about Chibi Robo? The original
Stop
Chibi
with
Robo.
The Chibi Robo. You and
oh
Kevin,
no, the original Chibi Robo is great.
Still, nobody cares. Even if it's good, there are a lot of good games nobody cares about. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm just saying nobody cares. There's a difference between being bad and nobody caring.
I had Metroid Prime and 2 on here.
And like, why would you play those when you could play the collection?
The trilogy.
There's so many games that are better played elsewhere in that version.
If they re-release Soul Calibur 2 with Link in it, I would play the hell out of that thing.
Yeah, but do you think they're going to get that in a classic release? And like, I don't know how hard it is to hack like GameCube ROMs. I'd imagine pretty hard. Because like that Dolphin thing, I always had a hard time like trying to.
Yeah, Dolphin was icky.
Yeah,
like it just never really worked.
Is it going to work well? I don't know if you're necessarily going to be able to hack this like you can Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's fun. It's fun to think about.
I think they're setting things up for, you know, they're doing stuff in the background where regardless of there not being an actual virtual console, we're still going to get the game somehow, some way, whether it's Classic Edition or anything else that they're.
Hey, Reggie said it. Nintendo Online is virtual console. So have hope. He said, like, you will get your virtual console through the Nintendo Online. So I think they'll just. We all knew, but without them saying it, people like they're opening themselves up to, you know, to have shots taken.
Oh yeah.
But we all know that at some point with that Nintendo Online subscription, games are going to come down. Yeah. So it is fun. I would still buy the box. Like for if it, you know, if it's $60-$80, like that's such a cheap price of entry, and the controllers are cool. Well, like that's another thing. I wouldn't play Smash.
Best controller ever.
I wouldn't play Smash.
Play Melee? Okay.
Why? The new version of Smash is going to be the best version. Why would you ever not play Switch Smash?
However, a lot of Melee fanboys, and I will say that Melee was probably the best Smash that's ever been created up until this point.
The Wii U version was better than Melee. You're just holding on for dear life to fight me on that one, but it's not true. The Wii U version is fantastic.
I loved about Melee, and I just can't put my finger on it. And it was just
See, that's just nostalgia. That I can put my finger on it.
I didn't play Wii U and 3DS as much as I did on Melee, though.
Well, yeah,
like that.
It was really, really good, and it's and it's not that it's bad. It was really, really good in its day. I'm just like, why would I play that one when the Switch one comes out in December? I just wouldn't play it. I'm just being honest with myself. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I just know I wouldn't.
As Kevin would say, fair enough.
There you go. So let's get into some questions. Let's open up some questions. And let's start here. Let's start with Smash, because we got a question for Smash. And this actually came from a lot of conversation that we had this week in the Discord. Josh asks, how much is too much for the new Smash? Now, this comes off of Kevin making the point that he didn't like the DLC that Smash for Wii U and 3DS had.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know if we're going to have DLC characters yet. We presume so, but we don't know.
I presume so.
How much is too much?
In terms of characters, I think you draw the line at 100. I'm just kidding.
There's no way.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. I think we can round it off to a nice even 70 characters. If you put 5 DLC characters in there, I think that would be, keep everybody happy.
To get everybody caught up to speed, the Wii U and 3DS version had, I may not remember all the stages and characters. I think it was 7 characters and 10 stages. But you could,
DLC.
If you bought all the DLC individually, I think you ended up spending like $72 on DLC.
Oh my gosh.
If you bought the pass was $50 and it got you everything. Now, if you only wanted the characters, the price was like $30.
See, that's what I did. I only got characters or their character and stage bundles. I never bought
if you bought
4 stages,
all of the characters and all of the stages, it was like $42. And I put a doc in the Discord that broke it all down. I was I bought all the stages and all the characters. Okay. So I ended up spending an extra $40. And Kevin,
didn't seem like that much just because they kept pulling them out in waves, you know?
And it was a game lived for 2 or 3 years.
Oh yeah.
And with Kevin, he mentioned Injustice, in which I pointed out that Injustice actually sold characters for $5.99 a piece too.
Yeah.
So the price was about the same. His difference is he said he bought them in a pass, and he got 4 characters for the $20 pass. But they also released 2 or 3 others that you didn't get in the pass that you had to buy for others. And with the Nintendo, with Smash for Wii U, they also sold characters in bundles. You could buy the Cloud, Bayonetta, other bundle. And it's also worth mentioning that the characters also came with stages. So I understand. Nobody wants to hear that a game is $100. But with me, and I said this in Discord, actually I think this is a very apropos analogy to make. Smash for Smash Ultimate is like the Halo collection for Smash. I mean, it's everything. It's the entire series lopped into one. That is such a steal for $60.
No doubt.
In today's modern market for fighters, where all of the rosters are like cut down to like 12 and you got to buy every character extra and all that. And they could really go the opposite way with this. So if they release 5 or 10 characters and they price them at $6 a piece, I don't care. Like, if they're a character I want, then I'll buy it. And if it's a character I don't want, then I won't. So, like I mentioned, if they release Shovel Knight, I'd buy Shovel Knight. If they release Travis
Shovel
Touchdown,
Knight, Shantae.
They're never going to. Shantae's not going to get in Smash. But if, and neither's Travis. Girl, if Travis Touchdown got in, I'd do
think about it, though. Her moveset would be amazing. Her moveset's already there,
Yep. The cosmetic stuff, I think, is more interesting because I could see them doing a lot of that. And we actually did dive into a little bit of that. I bought some cosmetic stuff for the kids and the Miis, and we thought it was cool. Like, I remember they released Majora's Mask, and I made a Mii fighter with like a lightsaber and Majora's Mask, and it looked awesome. We liked that. It was cool. So they could go way, way, way further with that than they ever did. And, I didn't think that stuff was, it was like 50 cents.
Oh, yeah. No, they were really cheap.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. So that question's done. Staying on the Kevin topic, though, Kevin also submitted a question for us, and he goes, why doesn't he have Mother 3?
Well, Reggie said it recently that, he knows.
They've said that for, 20 years?
Yeah. One of these days, people are just going to be over it, and they're just going to drop it out of nowhere, and everybody's going to lose their minds.
And that's what it felt like they did with Earthbound. When they released Earthbound on Wii U.
Oh, yeah.
They waited until they really needed it. Like, this console's on life support. Like, they're struggling to get software out. Like, everybody's angry. just throw them Earthbound. Like, put a ROM on it, and everybody lost their minds. It went nuts. I still don't understand what it is with the love affair in this thing. I don't think...
It's a cult classic.
But I think it's minor. It's a vocal minority. Like, this isn't really... It's become more popular to whine about not having Mother 3 than Mother 3 actually will ever be.
Yeah.
Like, the movement is more popular than the game will ever be. So, I still don't... I mean, like, if that game came out, I would buy it and dabble in it, and I'd probably tell you I would never beat it. So, like, I would mess around with it.
JRPG, I've got to play it and beat it to completion.
100%, right?
I've only ever done Earthbound. Like, I've tried... I did the, crazy... 0.1% drops on the weapons and all that crap one time and never again.
Take a little sidebar from the Nintendo stuff. Devin writes into the Nintendo Shack. Yes, let's repeat this. Devin writes into the Nintendo Shack and he goes, when is the Dame going to get a PS4?
Never.
Boom. Shut down, Dev. Sorry, man.
Sorry.
No interest at all. There's nothing there.
The only things that I would play would be the Kingdom Hearts series. And that adorable, I might play Ni no Kuni. What I've seen, I thought was good, but just I don't know. There's so many other JRPGs that I haven't played that I would like to experience first. Okay. The only other thing is what is the girl's name? It's something of Rice and Rain that's coming out, and Xseed is localizing it.
Oh yeah, I don't know. And
it's kind of like a farming sim type life sim thing, but you have dungeon aspects of it. Anyway, it's so it's
like Stardew Valley.
It's such a Nintendo. No, it's such a Nintendo title that it's not on Nintendo, and it's kind of a shame. I think it's coming to PC. Maybe I might pick it up there. But that's the only other.
Typically, the Xseed stuff does. Usually hits PC.
Xseed is great.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dev. When are you going to get a Switch? That's the question.
He's not supposed to be trashing. He's breaking the bet. He's breaking the bet like everywhere. Like Kevin as slap bet commissioner should allow me to exercise my due rights. Because he's just trashing Switch everywhere, and that was a part of the bet. He's not allowed to trash it until he buys one. So, Trash Turkey writes in. It's coming back to your retro stuff, because I thought that was a really good question. Do you ever think you'll get to the point that you stop playing new games and only play the games from your past, like someone who only listens to 80s music?
You mean like my parents?
Yeah. It seems like everybody
only listen to 60s and 70s music.
Everybody has something. Like there's a point in their life where they just stop. They stop keeping up, and they just.
I'd like to say I won't, but I think I'm gonna get more and more cynical in my old age because I'm already pretty cynical. And kids these days, what kind of garbage game is this? Like, I say that about Fortnite already. Are you kidding me?
That's true.
My husband's over here nodding his head. I like to say I've got an open mind to stuff, as I am not buying a PS4. But I think as long as Nintendo keeps making software, I'm going to keep buying Nintendo software.
That's interesting because a lot of their software is similar, Like it kind of is sitting in that old bubble because things haven't changed a whole lot. Like they do, but they don't. Like they change some things, but it's basically the same recipe.
The formula is pretty much the same.
It's all chicken soup. You're just getting different ingredients.
We've turned the tables on Zelda, and anything goes now, and I'll always buy a Zelda game.
I really like the question. It's a really good question because with the adults that I've witnessed in my life, there appears to be a period where they do just cut off.
This is true.
Things, they don't buy music anymore. Like they stop doing, like even hobbies, like they just kind of stop doing it. I wonder if there's a point. See, with me, I think it's the other. I don't think it's necessarily like that I cling to the ones from my past. I could definitely see a point where I just stop trying to buy all the games. I could see that point where it's just like I'm too busy. I got life. Like my kids are graduating. Like I got things to do. Like I can't keep buying all the new games and playing them all.
See, that's just opposite for me. Like once I have children and once the children come and go, then I'm gonna be like I can finally be me again.
Buy all the games again.
Yeah.
And maybe all the streaming rage that we're hearing about every day. Like maybe that's the answer to that. Like I definitely think in 10 years we won't be buying $60 games every month. In 10 years,
Probably
we will be
not.
paying $50 a month to play as many games as we want, something like that.
Sure.
So
I wait till that day comes. I don't want it to come.
And I also think there probably will be a day, like, you know, I had that FOMO big with the Wii U. Like, I took a Wii U break for like a year, and it started to eat at me like a lot. I definitely think there might be a day where I'm like, I'm good with the 1,000 games I own. And it might be like, you know, like Devin and I have often discussed like how we're not like into this streaming idea. Like the moment that the new digital age becomes whole, I could totally see myself being like, back in my day, we put the disc in the box and just like keeping my physical stuff.
Back in my day, we blew into the cartridges.
Yeah, I could see that happening. So, yeah, cool. Good question. Thanks, Trash Turkey.
Getting all philosophical over here.
Right? Daniel writes, if you could have a Switch Pro, what upgrades would it have?
It's got to be slimmer. It's got to be sleeker. No.
It's got to be extreme. Just put a big X on it. Just.
Do you remember 99X? Were you around when 99X was here?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. Just
do you remember the
X
box?
With 99X.
Do you remember the box?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The X Games. No. Sheesh. I always say better graphics card. You know, if we can run stuff on 4K, that would be great. It's not going to happen. I don't even think with a Pro.
Not on tablet.
What are we up to now? 1080?
Barely.
720 on screen? Yeah.
Sometimes. Sometimes.
That's a fever dream. I don't know. What do you think?
You know, I love this question because it kind of teed up something I've been chewing on in my mind for a little bit. I don't like that we're about to start a new hardware cycle. It kind of bothers me. I just bought an X, and I'm going to have to buy another one. And I know when I buy another one, and I feel like in 2 or 3 years, I'm going to have to buy another one. And that's really bothering me. I don't want to elicit any fanboy wars, but specifically, I kind of feel like this generation hasn't lived up to the billing. Whereas last generation, I felt like I owned a console for a longer period of time, which that's not owed to me. I understand that. And last generation was different economic times, right? And it was a slower technology time. I understand all the reasons, but I'm still want to say that with the amount of money I invested into last gen, I got entire series of games, not installments of games. I got Infamous 1 and 2. I got Killzones 1, 2, and 3. I got Grand Theft Auto 4 and 5. I got 5 Call of Duty games and 5 Battlefield games. Like I got, you know, entire series of games as opposed to this gen. I feel like I just got one. You know, it just seems much smaller, and it seems like this arms race in development. It's kind of one of the reasons why I like, and it's like a pro and a con of the Switch. With console game development now being 4K assets, it's so much bigger. You know, it takes so much longer to make a game. It's so much more costly, right? That we have to wait for these games longer and longer and longer. You know, paging Final Fantasy VII Remake. Like this game, like there's games that are just in the hopper. And like, I mean, everybody has a game like that. We waited on Breath of the Wild forever, and we're still waiting on Crackdown. Like everybody has these issues. It's not like a brand specific thing. What I'm saying is it's becoming harder and harder to make these games. And that means that we're not getting as many of them as we used to, which means that we're buying a hardware that's typically either priced higher than it ever was, or you're being, you know, forced to rebuy it faster than you ever were before. So it's like we're paying more for less. Ultimately, the point I'm trying to make is I feel like we're paying more for less than we ever have before. And there's a lot of things that are like combating that. You know, like the indie game market has never been better.
Right.
But still, I think you're not a bad person if you say that you wanted more of the bigger experiences. You know, like I love the indie games. I play a bunch of them, but like I still miss, you know, seeing entire story arcs. Like last gen, we had Gears 1, 2, and 3, and a side mission, and we had Uncharted 1, 2, and 3. Those entire series came on one hardware. If you bought one box, you got to play all of that. And I started this gen wanting to play the next Last of Us, and I'm concerned that now I have to buy another console to play that game.
Yeah.
And if I don't have to buy another console to play that game, like I'm going to feel like I'm missing out because I'm not playing the best version of the game that I wanted to play.
Right.
So I kind of feel that. And with Switch, I think it's a great space because games like the Lions game that I shared with you earlier, like these smaller games can come and they can have some spotlight, and Nintendo can make smaller games. But even with Switch, I still feel like we're just missing out. Like, when I play a game in 4K and I play Far Cry, and I even said this when we played Breath of the Wild, there were so many moments where Breath of the Wild either chugged or I was playing it portably and it looked muddy. And I'm just like, man, if this game was running on better hardware, it'd be better. It'd be a better game. You know, like playing Xenoblade 2, like playing that thing portably is terrible.
Terrible.
I kind of wish that it was more. I wish we were getting more. I always wish for more. I think that's like our job as the consumer to wish for more. And I kind of feel like everybody across the board's not maybe living it up to their end of the bargain. You know, it's like they want to sell us less software. They want us to buy more of it. They want to sell us more hardware more frequently. And it's like, really, what's in it for us?
Yeah.
Like, what are we getting out of this deal except for just giving you more games or giving you more money? It seems like all we're doing. So anyway, I don't know. Like the Switch Pro, I would want. I didn't even answer the question. Now I look at it. Switch Pro, I would want it to be better. You know, I would want.
This has been moments with Donnie.
See, I would want better graphics. I would want more horsepower. I would want stronger. You know, like even, and that's where like the RE7 streaming thing. That is the one argument for streaming that I'm not opposed to hearing. The fact that I can accomplish something so grand that the hardware couldn't possibly do it without streaming. Right. You know, and that streaming could be the answer for that. So that would be cool. I would be interested in something like that. Moving on. Lucas writes into the Nintendo Shack, the other half of Flux to Pose. So, like, Lucas showed up for Shack and Jason didn't, so.
Sean Capri showed up, too.
He goes, if Nintendo did another crossover a la Mario Rabbids, what franchise would it cross over with and what genre of game?
Well, we've already done Zelda and Dynasty Warriors and Fire Emblem and Dynasty Warriors. Dude, if we had Zelda and Fire Emblem, though.
Fire Emblem and Dynasty Warriors was like the perfect match. They can do better than they did, but that's the perfect crossover.
Zelda and Fire Emblem would be pretty cool.
Oh, you just want to cross over to Nintendo games.
Do we have to go third party?
Well, you don't have to, but
I mean, like they kind of work together a little bit.
That's true. I can see that.
Oh gosh, I don't know. Do you have an answer? I'm thinking about it.
Not really. Because like all of the answers that I would use, I don't think would ever be like plausible. It'd be cool if Mario Kart went the way of Smash, where like you had all these other characters come into Mario Kart. That would be awesome.
We kind of already did that. We got the Inklings. We got
no. I meant
villagers.
Like
we got
third-party characters, like from other kart racers and things like that. You know,
gotcha.
Like if like the the Sonics and stuff.
Sonic racing.
Like, yeah. If we got more of that, that would be really, really cool. Mm-hmm. I also think it's an easy cop-out answer. You know, like it's the Nintendo games don't really. I mean, what would we do? Spyro and Mario or Mario and Crash? Like, none of this sounds good.
We've done Mario and Sonic already for the Olympics. So.
Right. Star Fox in another flying space game, like, you know, what is it called?
Starlink.
I was going to say Star Atlas for whatever reason. Yeah, Starlink. That makes sense. It looks like it fits, you know. Like, you got to find that fit. And, like, Zelda, I don't think fits anywhere else.
That's why I said it's in the Fire Emblem.
I could see a Zelda Dragon Quest crossover.
That would be interesting. But I'm thinking like Zelda turn-based, you know, or like a Fire Emblem. No, I wouldn't want Fire Emblem in like a Zelda type thing.
You can't cross. What are you going to cross Pokemon over with? That seems really weird.
Mobile. They already did that. I don't know. There's a lot of things to think. They could do Pokemon and Animal Crossing. I think that would be kind of cute.
That wouldn't be bad. That's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. I would love a Pokemon game. I would love an Animal Crossing game with Pokemon characters.
That's what
I don't necessarily want like a crossover.
Yeah.
I don't want Isabelle and Pikachu sharing a screen together, but
you as the trainer are like
that would be cool.
Or something, and then all of the Pokemon are your villagers.
That's what make Kevin just like hate himself. He's just like, no. Yeah, I don't know. It's a really good question. I don't know, because like there's so many of their mascots are like so brand specific. Like Donkey Kong, what are we putting Donkey Kong in? Like, I don't know. It's weird.
Crash Bandicoot.
Right. So like the obvious ones are like the karting, like you Smash. Like if you ever did like a Smash and like an All Stars crossover, like those are opportunities that line up for something like that.
Sure.
Nintendo doesn't have like any building games, right? What if they did like a Labo Minecraft crossover? That works. You could do something like that.
I'm just trying to think. Yeah, I was trying to think of. Well, I mean, they've kind of already done their characters in Minecraft.
I'm trying to think of like even smaller characters. Like,
well, what would Kirby fit into?
The beauty of Kirby is that Kirby can literally do anything.
Yeah.
You can just whore Kirby out to anything.
Kirby and Yoshi together. I mean, like, that would be cute.
And they did Bowser and Donkey Kong and Skylanders, and I don't think that did much. Yeah, and it's just hard. It's hard. It was really hard. Like I said, I think Zelda and Dragon Quest, I think, is probably my best answer. There's so much of those games that are similar that if you did like some sort of crossover and blended those two narratives, I think it would go a long way. Now, there's absolutely no reason at all for Nintendo to do that.
No.
You maybe Splatoon is a shooter. Could you put it in another shooter world?
Oh, I would not play first-person Splatoon. I don't think I could do that.
First-person Splatoon in VR would be pretty awesome.
Man, first-person shooter, just like the first-person perspective, VR, FPS, it just gives me anxiety. Like, I just have the problem with anxiety in games that I can't do it. I literally have a freak-out moment. And that's probably because I actually have anxiety and I'm treated for it. But I don't know. I guess I'm missing out on a lot of stuff.
I don't think so. And we've reached our last question for the evening.
Okay.
Grouchy Surge wants to know, can you think of any unique Nintendo takes on Battle Royale? His idea is 100-player Mario Kart. You lose 20 players each of the first 4 laps. 5th lap, drop the pool from 20 to 10. Then finish the race losing 1 player per lap until we have a winner. So
wow. It's pretty creative. I'll have to give him that. Can you imagine a Fire Emblem game just with Fire Emblem characters, kind of Fire Emblem Heroes-esque with all of the characters?
Just everybody fighting each other?
Everybody fighting each other.
It would be like an RTS, kind of. Mm-hmm. That wouldn't be bad.
Trying to think. That's interesting.
Speaking of that crossover thing, we could totally cross Fire Emblem over with any other RTS. You could do like a Battalion Wars Fire Emblem thing. Like
oh, yeah, I forgot about Battalion Wars, dude.
That's a better answer. Something like that would work.
Was Battalion Wars for the Wii or the GameCube?
Both.
Which one was? Oh, that's right. There was number 2 for the Wii.
You can tell I like these games, right?
Yeah, I forgot all about that series.
Battalion Wars is really good.
Yeah, it is. I don't know.
My answer is that they already have. Last year on 3DS, they released Kirby Battle Royale.
Oh, that's true.
Which is not a Battle Royale game at all. It's just a 4-player multiplayer beat 'em up.
Yep.
But it's a good answer. Battle Royale, Nintendo Battle Royale. The only thing that I really thought of was like some sort of Mii-based game. You know, like kind of like the 3DS Street Pass games. Like they could do something like that. I just don't know what the battle mechanic is. But I could definitely see something like that, and I could see it being fun. And I could see Nintendo doing some weird. I could see Nintendo doing something weird, like 100 people start answering questions, and the last person wins. Like it's not related to fighting at all. It's like
Jeopardy type thing.
Yeah, something like that, or or it's like a rhythm-based thing, or maybe it's like a bunch of mini games, but like the last person survives. I could totally see Nintendo going down that route and like doing a fun spin on it, and actually see it being fun and somebody probably really liking it.
I'm not creative enough for this. Like I'm not creative enough for this to like answer it on the fly. You know.
Oh, Luke Lore in the chat goes 100 Pokemon enter a stadium.
Can you imagine the lag?
You imagine how long it would take? Like, I mean, what is it? Is it like Pokken, or is it like actual Pokemon Stadium and you're just taking turns, like pressing buttons? It would take hours.
It's like those old, like when the Greeks used to just like fight in mass.
Yeah.
The last one standing in the Colosseum or something.
I mean, to be honest with you, Splatoon is the only one that makes sense. But you could never like run 100.
Or Smash. I mean, we've got enough characters almost that we could have 100 characters in Smash, and the last one's
insane.
Standing.
You couldn't put that many on a screen.
No.
But what if they did one giant map? You know, like this huge giant map, and they dropped, and it would be 100. They dropped 30 Splatoon characters on, and you just fight for survival. That works. I don't necessarily know how fun it is, but it works.
They could take the Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival survival mode. and do all of the villagers.
So that's what I was thinking with like the Mii's. I was thinking something like they would do something weird like that. You know, they never copy other people. They do weird things. They definitely copy other people's idea. They just put it in their own blender. They do their own Nintendo thing on it.
It makes me wonder what they are smoking sometimes.
Kind of, yeah. Anyway, that was our
good
last
questions tonight.
It was good questions, and we're almost out of time. I'm gonna go a little bit over because we didn't really talk about what we've been playing. So Caroline, what have you been playing?
I played Pokemon Quest on mobile, just for a little bit. When I say a little bit, I only
5
defeated
minutes.
World 1.
Oh no, you did it longer. Okay.
I just don't like those games that make you come back to it later because you're recharging your energy. It makes me mad. I did a little bit more of Splatoon 2 Octo.
Still hard?
Still hard. Still ridiculously hard. And I think the thing that I've been playing the most, the other day, Limited Run Games' first Switch title.
Oh, yeah.
Thimbleweed Park
Kevin
came to me. They finally finished.
Kevin caught, if I remember correctly, because in pure Shaq tradition of misquoting Kevin completely, I believe he called it one of his favorite games of this generation.
I think he said one of his favorite games of 2017 because it came out in 2017. Or favorite games.
I think he said this gen. I think
gen. I think he said of this year because he played it earlier this year, even though it was a 2017 game.
We'll have to get him to correct us on this one.
But anyway, I am on part 6. It is, just such a throwback to
best game of the generation.
No.
Top 5 game of the generation.
No, but I really enjoy it.
That's good. That's good.
It's in a different vein. It's just kind of a breath of fresh air after you've been playing JRPGs and shooters and stuff. It's like, I forgot about adventure games. Why don't they make these anymore?
Yeah, he really loves those. He really does.
Can't put it down. Like the past 2 days that I've had it, I think I've got 8 hours in it. I'm cool. I'm almost done. But great. I'm glad that I spent the money for the physical because the physical edition is gorgeous. It came with its own little book and everything.
Nice.
And they did a really good job. I'm excited to buy more from Limited Run. And
one day I'll try it.
Pretty much.
Maybe. Probably not.
You would actually, if you liked old LucasArts games.
I didn't. Or I don't. I don't think I do. I never played them that I'm aware of.
I
don't even know them all.
Obsessed with PC gaming when I was a child.
Like the Grim Fandango and stuff like that. And I didn't do any of that.
Oh, okay.
I played Xenoblade 2, which I've been playing.
What chapter?
I'm still in chapter 4.
You make it to Moradane?
Yes. I think that's actually where I saved it.
The hot springs yet?
I haven't been back to it in a few days because Lumines Remastered came out.
Oh, that's right.
And ever since Lumines Remastered dropped, I have been playing nothing but Lumines Remastered.
Nice.
So most folks that know this game know it from their days with the PSP. I know it from when it came out on Xbox 360, although I've definitely heard the podcast and people I've listened to for years talk about it on PSP. Do you like Tetris games?
Yeah.
This is a Tetris game that's based on like rhythm. It's like a rhythm-based Tetris game.
Oh boy, I don't know if I'd be good at that.
It's got like this like little techno and J-pop stuff.
I like rhythm games.
And it's hopping and it's got all this like colors and stuff and it's good.
I'm a white girl and I don't have a very good.
My wife loves it. She's that, and I tweeted a picture of us the other night. Like we've been playing it, trading it back and forth. It's a great game for that. It requires you to think differently. It's not Tetris in the sense that you're matching like a color, right?
Yeah.
You have to build blocks of 4, at least 4, like cubes, not block. You're building cubes. And they give you these blocks in different colors, and you have to build a cube in one color. So it's the easiest way to say is like you don't think like linearly, like you think in cubes, like in like little building blocks, and it gets super hard. I think the best I've done so far is 22,000. I made it to level 5 so far. That's not good. I've been seeing people's screenshots of like 800,000. Like, I have no idea how they're doing it, but it makes me feel very mentally inadequate. What I can tell you is the game is an absolute blast. It's blast co-op. It has missions that like kind of teach you how to do the game. It's got the mode that you unlock all the skins and everything that we've been playing. The load times are not awful. They're definitely not the worst load times I've seen, but they're not great. But there's no stuttering. It looks great. It's super sharp, as you would expect it to. It looks a lot better than the Xbox 360 version, at least to my memory. It's super, really, really sharp. And it's just, I think everybody that's played Lumines, I think they all universally tell you it's one of the best puzzle games they've ever played. Right. I'm in that camp. You know, this is like top-notch puzzle fun game, especially if you have any co-op companion to play with. There's a battle mode or like a co-op mode. It's really, really, really good.
I can't tell you the last time I've played like a puzzle game.
Puyo?
I didn't play Puyo Tetris.
Okay. Because this is like, if you're listening out there, and let's say you played Puyo when the Switch launched, even you liked it. I really liked Puyo Tetris. I'd probably rate it like 7.5. It's like just a good, okay game. Mm-hmm. Lumines Remastered blows that game out of the water. So if you played Puyo and at any point enjoyed it, even for a little bit, you owe it to yourself to play Lumines Remastered because it's just a way better game. It's much, much better. I think the music makes all the world of difference. And the way that you combo things together, like there's a scroll line that traces across like in rhythm to the music, and you can actually set up your blocks to where as it comes across and scores with the beat that you hit multiple, you chain combos together, and like it gets way deep for something that's such a simple concept. I think you'd love it. It's really good. It's really, really, really good. It's one of the best games on Switch that I've played for sure.
Digital? Did you buy it digital?
Mm-hmm. I think it's only digital, but I'm not sure on that.
Oh, okay.
But I've only ever seen it marketed digital. I think I paid $20 for it. I don't even remember.
That's too bad.
Pre-ordered it before E3, so I don't even know.
I gotcha.
So what I would say is I want to play more Xeno, although I do recognize that I already feel like I'm putting games off. Like I haven't played Octo and I haven't played Donkey Kong.
I understand.
The Rabbids
That's
expansion.
how I was for like 5 months, but I still just played Xenoblade, and now I have this huge backlog.
Here's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to try to commit to finishing the story campaign for Xeno.
Good.
What I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to set aside a day of the week
just for Xeno,
where I play Xeno. And I don't feel like it won't bother me to never like if I just set that day and commit to it, it won't bother me because I'll have other time to play the other games that I want. But I won't quit on it because like the part of me that wants to quit on it is I feel like I'm missing out.
Okay.
So I think like Sunday mornings are going to be Xenoblade 2 time, and I'm just going to play for 2 or 3 hours at a time, and I don't know how long it's going to take me forever to beat it at that pace.
You're not going to beat it by the prequel.
Yeah, I kind of figured that because I really want to get into the Octo thing. So my plan is I'm going to keep playing Lumines. I'm going to do Donkey Kong and then Octoling, and then that should take me into Octopath. Like there's no way. There's no way I'm going to beat this. So Xeno
excited. We have like 2 weeks before Octopath.
There's so much stuff. Like Switch is really in a really great like little place. Actually, I had this pulled up. I wasn't going to read it, but I'll read it now quickly. Today out on Switch, Wolfenstein 2, Crash Bandicoot's trilogy, Limbo and Inside came out. What are these other things here? Fossil Hunters came out. I saw people talking about that. There's another Arcade Archives game out. And there's Rumbo came out from 13 AM Games. I played a game on Wii U. It was, I really, really enjoyed it. I think it's a little late. I am happy that it's only $14.99. Like the 3DS version of Rumbo Pocket was like $30. It's ridiculous. And there was another one of these that somebody really liked. I don't remember what it was. Grave Danger was another one of the indie games that's out this week. So
all the games.
Like in addition to all this stuff that I haven't been able to play. Wolfenstein, I'm never going to play Crash, but, there's more games that came out, and then that game comes out next week, and Jason's reviewing a game, and I'm hoping to get one in the next couple of weeks. Like, slammed packed. Like, it's hard for me to play another console right now.
Future.
Like, I'm seriously, like, I can't play the Xbox. I can't play the PlayStation. Like, I don't have time for other consoles.
God forbid. No, sorry.
Right? Like, such terrible, terrible lives we lead.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this is our last Shack before the big announcement. So I hope you guys all enjoy that tomorrow. We put some love into it. While the announcement may not be the shocking news that you were hoping for, hopefully the message that we deliver is entertaining enough that you give us at least a little credit.
And it's something I'm personally excited for because I'm not going to spoil it.
Your input was amazing.
Oh, thank you.
So with that, we are out. We are about 5 minutes overtime, so that's a good time. We're going to call it a night. My name is Donnie Reese. You can find me over on Twitter at Playin Nintendo. My companion here, my Nintendo sis here in the Nintendo Shack, is Caroline. Let them know where they can find you.
At the Nintendame on Twitter.
And any of you out there that are missing some Mario Tennis talk, because none of us in Shaq are playing it. If you head over to Bored with Video Games episode that just released yesterday, Kyle has a great 5 to 8 minute breakdown of his thoughts of the game because he is playing it. So why don't you give them a listen, and they'll teach you about some board games and some tabletop stuff. I played Catan this week, all week actually. We've played almost every night, and the kids are loving that game. That game has got the hooks in the kids. So
nice.
Anyways, that's it. Thank you for tuning to Nintendo Shack. Remember to tune into all of the shows on the PSVG Podcast Network that you can find in any application. Yes, I mean any application. We have another mini announcement tomorrow, another podcast channel that we added to the rotation. And we hope you tell a friend, tell somebody about the show. Just tell them, like, hey, go search the acronym PSVG one day. And we should pop up on all the things. So with that said, we are out, boys and girls. Remember, never stop gaming.